Oh my
All
god.
right. We appear to be live.
I don't get to dance before.
No, yeah, I know. I know. I feel. I feel like something is wrong because I didn't get to sing along with the countdown music. It is incorrect.
You hate to see it.
You do hate to see it. Um, yeah. So we'll have to see what they've done to our countdown music for this StreamYard app. StreamYard, what did you do to the beloved 30-second countdown? Let me pull up the comments page here. Marcus informed me he's writing his paper tonight, and he did an interview with me for his paper, which was
Oh,
cool. Yeah.
that's neat.
All right, let me get the script up.
Yeah, some people are calling me out, being like, "That's an April Fool's Day." I'm like, "But I'm bullshit."
What are you talking about?
Uh, I don't know if it's in the script. Dogma 4K 25th anniversary. Some people are saying this is April Fool's Day joke, and I'm like, no, there's dates with theaters, which means you can buy tickets.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And that means it's not in April. If you're going to announce anything, you don't fucking do it on April 1st. I don't care who you are.
Let's talk about this during the show.
I know. If you're Nintendo announcing the fucking Switch 2, you don't do it on the 1st, which is why they waited till the 2nd. Holy shit.
Exactly. It's true. All right. Let me see. Let me pull up the script here. We'll get started. Choke, boy. I know your pain. All right, here we go. You ready?
I guess so.
Not gonna do any intros. Just two of us. All right.
Just the two of us.
Two of us, you and I. All right, here we go. It's a Culturesmash cast, episode 668 for April the 2nd, 2025. I'm Stephen Lackey, editor of the Culturesmash cast.
I'm Zach. I'm an idiot. I'm the only one here. So
That's true. You are the only one here.
you know what? I'm not the idiot tonight. I am actually the professional tonight because the idiots couldn't show up.
Well, to be fair, they don't have internet. Now, I'm not exactly sure.
I don't know.
Why.
There's more than two.
It's true.
There's somebody else. I don't know where he is, but you know.
Oh, he's flying. He's traveling.
Well,
yeah, he is working.
You know,
so. Nathan was intending to actually be here, but he got hung. Yeah, he got hung on a layover. Yep.
Yo, that sucks.
It does suck. Yep. So what are you gonna do? It's just you and I holding down the fort.
Look, it's either have a show for the first time in a month or don't and go like 5 weeks. It's like, no.
5 freaking weeks without doing something.
Do it. Just do a show. Let's go.
Exactly. So we're just going to do it. We're just going to talk about it. And let's see. Zach is here. What's up, Zach? Zach Moffat
the other
chat.
one.
Marcus, you are the idiot, Zach, coming from Marcus. Marcus, did your head explode that I was 2 minutes early? Did you how did that work for you, sir? How did that work for you? Did you like it? All right, let me do this. I'll do the heavy lifting before we get into the actual show. Here we go. Join us every Wednesday night, except when we're off for a freaking month, live on YouTube and Twitch, starting at around 6:15 CST, 6:45 tonight. Just because. Follow us on your favorite platform and get engaged because we do read the chats and interact with comments. Special thanks to Skinny Mixes for supporting the Culturesmash cast. Skinny Mixes are coffee, cocktail, and dessert syrups that are 0 sugar, 0 calories, and 0 to 2 carbs. Head on over to skinnymixes.com and try some of their delicious drink and dessert syrups, such as the white chocolate, salted dark chocolate, and salted caramel. They also feature a variety of cocktail mixes and water infusions. Spice up your coffee or cocktail with less sugar, calories, and carbs. Use promo code CULTURESMASH for a 15% discount on your order.
So Zach says he's going good. He just got the Terminator 4K Steelbook. It's a great transfer.
Oh.
Do you want to tell him or should I?
Sir.
It's a Cameron movie, man.
Yeah. So
how's that grain just gone? How's the AI upscale going?
Yeah, this is the problem. I haven't even bought it yet.
You like the scene where Sarah Connor's wearing sunglasses and her eyes are bugs until the AI knows what's happening and then realizes it's glasses? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that? I don't.
It's not. Yeah. I'll probably end up with it at some point because I want the extras and whatnot.
But I have been burned by The Abyss and I was double burned by True Lies. I ain't
Yeah.
buying no more.
Yeah, I think Cameron 4Ks that are supervised by him are just a no bueno at
No,
this point. Unless it's Avatar,
no,
because
Avatar. Have you seen the original Avatar in 4K? It's upscaled, not
is
using
it?
AI, but it's upscaled because
Ugh.
it was shot in 1080p.
Well, okay, so that's okay to me because there's what else can he do?
No, no, no. It's bad.
I
I've
mean,
seen
no,
direct
it is.
comparisons and
Yeah,
I went,
it
"Oh
is,
my god."
and it's probably going to be the same for that 28 days later 4K whenever it comes out too.
I mean,
Because
that's explainable though. That's shot in 480p.
yeah,
That's like that's due to source.
what's up, Samantha?
I don't know. I looked at the results and I went, "Oh my, that's bad."
Not the George Takei. Oh my.
Oh
Is
my,
it a
that's
problem that I have watched the same movie 10 times this year so far?
no,
I don't think
no.
so. Not necessarily. I
There's some.
mean,
I mean, I've watched The Big Lebowski like 3 times in a week before.
yeah, I've done that. I've done that. Especially like if you watch a movie and you're a physical media person like us, like if I watch a movie and I don't take it out of the player and I go and turn my stuff on and it's still in the player, I'll be like, it's in there. I like it.
You just hit play.
Click. Just hit play. You just
Yeah.
hit play and you watch it again. Yeah. So I don't have an issue with that. I'm very excited to share, and I'm not doing it, what Samantha's choice for Sunday Night Cinema is going to be. It's going to be an interesting evening
All
of movie
right.
watching fun. All right, so let's see what has happened. I guess the big thing that's happened, and I was gonna talk about. Should I wait to talk about South by until next week with Nico and Tina?
You went to South by and you saw a bunch of stuff.
I did. Yeah, I
You know,
saw a bunch of
I
stuff.
actually went and saw some stuff too. You can talk about it. I can't. That's how NDAs work.
Ooh. Um, it's interesting though because I got to see some sort of medium medium size medium budgeted films that are starting to come out now, and people are. I see the Media Machine getting hyped for them, and I'm like, oh no, man, no, no. The biggest one was clearly Ash. I saw Ash early, and what a piece of shit. It it was. Well, no, not probably. It was the worst movie I saw at South by.
No, well, hold on. Was it worse than the other one where it was? What was it? Fuck the movie or like
Oh,
sex?
fuck toys, fuck
Fuck
toys.
toys. Yeah.
I actually
Your
think,
review felt a lot more violently angry.
yeah. Damn, they're both really bad. Fuck toys is nothing but aesthetic, and honestly, Ash is the same. It's just our main character spends an hour of the movie just kind of walking around, looking at cool colors, and playing some ambient music that literally almost put me to sleep. I almost fell asleep in the theater watching the movie. Fuck Toys is nothing about what it should have been. Just that title got me excited. I thought, ooh, we're gonna see some crazy horror movie or something about fuck toys. No, no, not at all. Mm-mm. Uh, it had a pretty good soundtrack though. Soundtrack's pretty good. It was like some angry girl punk music, which is always fun and good. But yeah, those were the two worst movies I saw. Also saw Drop, and Drop is coming out soon, and that one's bad. It I kind of want you to see it, to be honest.
Oh yeah, you were telling me it's like I wanted you to see it just so you can like text me and be angry.
Yeah, I because
And I
the
know how this plays out because we've been through this before.
hey, but I'm
At
honest
least
with
you're
you this
honest
time.
with me this time. Yeah, not
Exactly.
like Blair Witch where you're like, "Oh man, it's so good." Okay, fine, I'll go see it. There was no one in that theater, and I bust out my phone being like, "You fucking dickhead."
I do care. I do care, Marcus. It is on my watch list, sir. It is a subtitled movie, and it's a whole process for me to get that watched. What's up, Grubby? It's good to see you as well. It's good to be back. Just I guess we didn't really talk about that, but we've been out for about a month because I was out for a week at South by Southwest. I took the week previous. Okay, so this is what happened. I was leaving. for South by the day after what would have been podcast night, and I needed to pack, so I took that one
Crap.
off. I came back from South by the day that podcast would happen, so I was exhausted, so that wasn't going to fucking happen. So we missed those 2 weeks, and then the 2 additional weeks after that, Zach and I both been sick. Just sucks.
Like I'm still we're still coughing because
Yeah,
whatever we had, I don't know if it was the same thing, but dear God, it was bad.
It's bad. Marcus, I'm sure there is a dubbed version, but isn't that kind of blasphemous, sir, to watch a dubbed anime? Unless it's like something like Princess Mononoke or something like that has a really pretty good dub track.
I actually hate the dub for Princess Mononoke. Let's get Billy Bob Thornton in for this role. It's like of all the people you could put in this role, this is probably one of the worst casting choices. There are a few dubbed animes I'd be like, no, go for the dub, but the majority it is subbed. So.
I mean, at least the first time I see an anime, I want to hear it in the native language with the actual correct actors.
I mean, not every anime is Cowboy Bebop, to where it's like, just don't even bother, go with the dub. Like, you just go with the dub.
Yeah,
it's that good.
Oh, okay. So this is going to happen because it's just me and Zach. But back on the subject of Drop. So this is a movie about a woman who's going on a blind date with a guy. And she gets to the restaurant and she starts getting airdrops to her phone telling her she's got to kill this guy.
Yeah.
She's got to kill him. And someone is close enough to her to be doing the airdrops. So it's like, who is it? Who's in the restaurant that doing blah, blah, blah. So the majority of the movie takes place between her and her date. So they're sitting at a table, at a dinner table. And boy, when I tell you, it's the most ping-pongy editing you've ever seen in your life. It'll cut to one person's face, that'll give a line. It'll cut to the other person's face to give a facial reaction. It'll cut back to the other person's face to say the line again. And it'll cut back to the other person's face to react to it and say something. And then back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Like the first 20 minutes of that movie is excruciating. It literally hurts.
So what you're saying is they got an AI to do a rough edit, where you put all the clips on the timeline and say, edit. Which is apparently something that some programs can do now, which we've never used. Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that.
But apparently you're saying they did this and then they went, that's good enough.
I don't think it's just that, though, because they didn't choose to shoot anything else. Like, to me, they have, so the table where the two characters are sitting is pushed up against a giant window. So they can show how high up they are and all this stuff. But if they had pulled that table to the middle of the room, they could have walked around the table with a camera, right? And gotten some different types of camera movements and stuff instead of just cut, 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 cut. And my other thing, too, is to go to Palma and do a split screen. Keep both faces on at the same time during that conversation and see their reactions in real time. I think that would have been cool. They didn't do any of that, though. It's on top of that. Like the whole reason that this woman has to be the one to kill this guy the rug gets pulled out from under it about 45 minutes into the movie. It's like, well, you didn't need her anyway. You didn't need her. So yeah, it's bad. And all that to say, it's still better than Ash and Fuck Toys.
It's a sad day.
It is a sad, sad day, sir. Do we have film ball numbers? No, because our person who has those film ball numbers doesn't have internet. But I will have your film ball numbers, sir. I'll get them for you.
I don't think. I mean, I can pull a number out of my ass. Just be like,
yeah,
I found one.
Well, trust me, sir, it's not good. But yeah, I'll have the Discord numbers for sure for you guys for this week. Marcus, I don't think you actually really want them though. That's a sneak preview of what to expect, sir.
What up, Sydney?
What's up?
Oh, Sydney said, "What up, everyone?"
Oh, what's up, Sydney? How you doing? We're just kind of bullshitting about catching up on some movies. I saw The Woman in the Yard. Also,
then how was The Woman in the Yard?
So I really liked.
Hold on. Blumhouse.
Yeah.
Continue.
I really liked it. Like a lot. Liked it a lot. It is super divisive because it is not the movie people expect it to be.
Yeah, to me, the trailer said spooky ghosts something.
Yeah. It's got a whole lot more going on than that.
Yeah, the trailer was notoriously, obtuse because it was another Blumhouse spooky demon ghost movie.
Yeah, which it is, yeah, for sure what it seemed like in the trailer. But there is reasonable argument. Now, you know this about me, and I think you're the same way. I'm pretty vehemently against public trigger warnings because they spoil the movie. But this movie does make me think there needs to be some way to do trigger warnings for people who need it because,
Like, you're
damn,
talking like a strobe effect, or are you talking like a subject matter?
I'm talking subject matter. Yeah. Strobe effect warning does not bother me. That doesn't really spoil anything. But when you're talking specifically something related to the storytelling of the film, that's tough, right? Because if you put that in front of the movie, then people are going to know to be looking for it.
Well, is it
But
like in the rating descriptor, like rated PG-13
no,
for
no.
really? Okay, so
Mm-mm.
it doesn't have like rape or anything in it, I guess, but
Yeah, the
because
thing that's
usually
in this,
that's like in a rating.
yeah, no, it's not like that. It's tough. Oh, okay. Sydney wants to know, what is the most? What shit? It scrolled on me.
What is the
What
most stressful movie scene that you have ever seen? I can think of a good few.
50% of Uncut Gems?
What stands out to me, there's a couple scenes from The Hurt Locker. I remember really being just tight
Yeah,
watching. I'll never forget this is almost a cliche, but I really remember holding my breath pretty hard. Dark Knight, the ferry sequence where he puts his finger on the trigger and it just holds. The music is just there. Like, that's a really standout moment. I remember.
that's a good one. Something new is go with me here, Zach.
Yeah.
There's one scene. There's one scene in episode 2 of The Studio that's stressful as hell.
Man, okay. Okay. Just I did hold my breath. Yeah. Most stressful stress. I remember having difficulty breathing during Dunkirk. Like, afterwards, I was like, like, just because the whole movie is stress.
Yeah, that movie is stressed from the opening to the closing credits.
But it's not a scene per se.
I feel like the needle in the eye scene in Evil Dead 2013 is pretty stressful to me.
Not stress, but it definitely got a motherfucker out of me. Like, I'm serious. If you go to a horror movie with me, and Steven will vouch for this, if it's a really good gore, like cringe, like get under your skin moment, I'm like, yeah, motherfuckers, let's go. Like, it happened during Talk to Me, where somebody goes to grab their eye. It's like, yeah motherfucker.
Well, that Talk to Me is a great example of a movie that I thought was just all right until the scene happened.
Yeah,
and
until about 20 minutes in, and then you're just
like, holy shit. Now we're here. We are here, and we are not going back. All right. So we'll talk more as we go through this, but I'll go over the this week's box office really quick. Number 10 was Novocaine. It made 1.4 million. It made 18.8 million. Now, that actually I saw during South by Southwest. Side note about South by Southwest is you had to reserve tickets for the movies you wanted to see. Did I tell you this, Zach?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had to reserve tickets the day before, and then even if you usually were not able to get the tickets. So you had to go wait in a rush line, hoping for the ones that were not reserved. And we did pretty good. We usually got into everything we wanted to see. But the Saturday night, we just couldn't get anything. So we went to an advanced screening of Novocaine. And it is absolutely whatever, Novocaine.
That's why I've kind of heard. I've heard some people be online. It's like, how come people aren't supporting original films? Man, I've heard Novocaine's just, it's fine. It's whatever.
I mean, it's Jack Quaid playing this same character he plays in everything he's in. I mean, it's basically him and the boys, except this time he's got a little bit of a superpower. He was better in Companion, and even in Companion, he's still kind of playing the same type of character. But this really did feel like the boys. character. There's some funny moments. There's in the fight scenes, there's a few funny moments, but I feel like it goes too far, like in the third act, and it kind of I just disconnected from it just a little bit. I
So it
think I
goes
gave
like
it a
cartoony.
yeah, it does. So I think I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. It was a very much a whatever movie. Um, all right. So number 9 is Mickey 17. It made 1.9 million. It's made 43.6 million. And this is a fucking travesty right here because Mickey 17 is fantastic.
I need
You
to
haven't even
see
seen
it.
it.
I need to see it. I'm
You
sorry.
son of a bitch.
I know.
What the
To be
how
fair, okay, the past half a month or more has been a little bit stressful.
Sir, you went and saw Princess Mononoke the other night, and you had two other brilliant options that you could have taken. You could have
Uh,
taken this or Black
okay,
Bag.
to be real though, it was 9:30 at night, and those were not screening.
Oh, well, sounds like you need to try a little harder.
So I had finished Ubering because I was in the middle of it, because I had nothing to do, and I was like, I'll Uber, and then I really didn't want to Uber anymore, so I was like, what's playing at the movies? And it's like Mononoke starts in like 30 minutes, and Black Bag and Mickey 17 were done for the day screening, so it's like, okay, let's go. So continue.
Okay, fine. And Sydney, also, yeah, I'm excited for The Accountant Part 2. It's the ultimate in dad movies. It really feels like a dad movie, but I'm excited to see it. Speaking of Black Bag at number 8, $2.1 million, made 18.7 million. That's also a damn travesty because it's 5 out of 5.
I need to
And
see it.
it's
I went to the theater and it wasn't showing at the time.
son of a bitch. Number 7 is Captain America: Brave New World. It made $2.9 million, made 196.6 so far, and it's very much also a not good movie. Like I came out of it feeling kind of whatever about it,
And as
but
time goes on,
as I've sat with it, I've liked it less and less. Like it's not aging well because some of the punched in scenes, look really bad and they feel out of place. There's just a lot of things wrong with that movie. Number 6, Princess Mononoke, the 4K restoration. It made $3.8 million on its weekend. And that's
that's
kind of a big deal.
well,
That's a
that's
big
only
deal.
IMAX locations. It
It
wasn't
is. It's
showing
only
anywhere but IMAX. So the fact that an IMAX movie
made that kind of
exclusively
money.
made that money is good. I mean, there was only like maybe 10 people in my screening at 10 p.m. at night on a Friday, but I mean, look, it's Princess Mononoke on the big screen. I've seen it 3 times on the big screen at this point, and yeah, it is one of those movies that just it's made for it. Like
It
it's such a beautiful film, and
it
then
really is.
to put it in the IMAX, like the beginning of the film has these just low, deep drum beats, and to hear that in
Yeah.
an IMAX theater was like it's all worth it.
Oh man, I
This
can
one
imagine.
moment was just like the whole room shook, and I'm like, baby, here we go.
Yeah, but you said though that this doesn't look like a new scan to you.
Yeah, hot take. This doesn't look like a new scan. This just looks like the scan from like 2012 in a 4K DCP container.
Shell. Yeah.
Which I
So
mean, it's probably the same 4K scan, but I didn't see a huge difference in terms of the Blu-ray scan and this scan in terms of image quality, in terms of image stabilization, in terms
yeah,
of I mean, it might be true that we're outside of the Rec 709 color space now that
I
we
was
have
going to
the
ask about the
full.
color. I mean,
I mean, but
it
it looked roughly the same. I would almost have to do a one-to-one comparison to really see it. I'm not being blown away out of my seat. I'm going, oh, this is probably the same master that they did, just in
yeah,
a full, you know,
a DCP.
in a full DCP, which I'm
Yeah,
totally fine with.
yeah, I'm fine with that too.
But I was under the
That's cool.
impression this was a newly, freshly made thing, and I'm like, I don't think this is that. Um, I mean, it looked as good as I've ever seen it.
Well,
I
then
mean,
there you go.
I've seen it on
That's all.
35 millimeter subtitled. I've seen it 35 millimeter dubbed, and I've seen it a 4K DCP. So
All right.
I think I can say, it's the best it's looked. They didn't go in and stabilize the animation. They didn't go in and make any changes that I could see.
Got it.
Like, it was
It
the
was
last
just a,
hand-drawn animation, so there's sometimes moments where stuff is moving because it's going through a film weave.
yeah,
And I feel like if this is a new 4K restoration, they would have stabilized those things.
probably.
That's not the
I
case.
mean, you would think so. You would
That's why
think
I
so.
say I think this is the same old master that was probably done as a 4K
Was
scan.
there was there some kind of anniversary or something? I'm just wondering why it got reissued. It's weird.
It's 97. So no, it's not
Not
30-year
really.
old. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
Hey, look,
Uh,
if you're gonna put one Ghibli film in IMAX, Mononoke's it.
it's a good one.
I mean, outside of
Yep.
a couple moments where shit's happening at the top of the frame, and you're having to look for the subtitles. A moment or two like that, it's gorgeous.
Yep. All right. Number four and number five and number four are interesting because we've been having this discussion over on TikTok. Because number five is Death of a Unicorn, and number four is The Woman in the Yard. So I was actually talking with Crystal about this, and she said, and I agree with her, that The Woman in the Yard feels more like an A24 film, and Death of a Unicorn feels more like a Blumhouse.
Yeah,
And
Death of a Unicorn feels like a one-trick pony.
one of our other TikTok friends over there had said that he felt like Death of a Unicorn seemed like a Universal release, and I could see that too, kind of. It made $5.7 million in its opening weekend. I saw this early also at South by, and it's a 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah,
There's
it's
some
generally what I've heard.
Jenna Ortega is playing Jenna Ortega. Paul Rudd
There will
is
come a day where she does not play an angsty teen, and it will be
yeah,
a day worth remembering.
it will. And Paul Rudd is in the film, and he's generally pretty likable. He's not likable in this movie at all. Um, his character also is a bad person, and then they give him a tiny like rush redemption arc only to make him a bad person again. So I mean, it's just the movie. It's another eat the rich movie, basically. It doesn't really have much to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and The Woman in the Yard had a $9.3 million opening, probably pretty good for that movie, to be honest. It'll do okay.
Sydney
Number
asks, "What is your best blind buy in 4K Blu-ray or DVD?"
shit.
I don't really have one.
I mean, I've done some blind buys, but what is my best?
Can I go with like a blind, like, we'll play this movie? Does that count?
What do you mean?
I popped on Old Boy because it had a weird name. That's all I knew. I
Oh,
remember the first time I popped that on, I was like, this is a weird sounding title movie. Let's see what this is. And it's goddamn Old Boy. That was like, I couldn't believe what I was watching in terms of just how great it was.
so the ones that I'm going to pick are going to be obscure, and
Yeah.
it's because most of my blind buys are Vinegar Syndrome purchases. I don't blind buy that often.
Yeah, I really don't. And usually
Yeah,
when I do blind buy, I flip them.
yeah, because it ends up being a mistake.
Yeah.
But I've bought a few things, blind bought a few things from Vinegar Syndrome just because they were limited, and I thought, let me just buy it because it's going to sell out, and I'm going to regret it if I find out later that I like the movie. So I go ahead and blind buy them. And there's a movie called Grave Secrets that is a really kind of lo-fi, cheesy haunted house movie from the '80s, and it did in fact sell out very quickly, and I love it. And it's a very nice Blu-ray transfer and a really great package. It's one of those hard slip boxes that's numbered. I love that one. So I'm going to go that way, even though it's a movie that no one's ever seen and you won't be able to see because it's way out of print. But happy that I have it. All right. Number three is The Chosen: Last Supper. It made $11.7 million. I'm assuming an Angel Studios situation, something like
It's
that.
I'm pretty sure it's a Christian movie. Yeah.
Oh, no, it definitely is. I've seen the posters and whatnot. Number two is Snow White. Made
This is a
14.
TV show. What the fuck?
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
episodes 5 and 2, or 5.1, 5.2.
okay. Number two is Snow White. It made 14.3 million. It's made 66.9 million so far. Disney's lowest performing live action movie. I would just love to say that they would learn a lesson, but
Yeah,
we
I was
know
about to
in
say
fact that they will not.
it's not about the quality. I just am so tired of these.
Yeah.
I do not want these to make any more money so they can go, we should stop with this and do something else. Because
I
these
when
are just, I'm
the
done, man.
the problem here is going to be that what they should see is that the nostalgia tool is starting to wear thin. But what they're going to do is blame the failure of the movie on all of the controversy around it.
The whole political aspect of it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, it's literally just because
I mean,
I
it
don't want to see
clearly,
Snow White. I love Lilo and Stitch. I don't
yeah,
give a fuck about that fucking remake. I don't. Because I have it. Like,
yeah,
what's wrong with the animated version? I got
yeah,
the
it's great.
uncut version too. You know,
I mean, I don't even necessarily have the biggest problem with IP because that's what Disney's always been, but do something new. Create some new IP. Stop trading on the old shit, you know?
Frozen made $1 billion. It
Sure
was
did.
original.
Number one over the weekend is A Working Man. It made $15.5 million for its opening. I hear it's pretty bad.
I've
It's
heard
Jason Statham's new thing.
it's Jason Statham in another one. Which I mean,
Yeah.
I'll give the man this. He has a brand.
Well, and you know what's funny is he had Beekeeper. The previous movie's Beekeeper, and that was Jason Statham and David Ayer. I didn't like it. I thought it wasn't good. I thought the action was kind of basic and the story was whatever. But a lot of people did like it. So the two of them teamed back up again for this one, and now people are catching on. They're like, "Oh yeah, this is shit."
What
Because you
did
know
the
what?
mechanic not do it for y'all in 2010?
I kind of like the mechanic. I love the
Alright.
original. I love the original, the mechanic better,
Yeah.
but I like the mechanic.
To me, this is just another one of those. It goes in the pile.
It does. It does. It's the Liam Neeson formula for filmmaking.
Have you guys heard about the Warner Brothers DVD disc rot? Yeah, that's
Yeah, I keep hearing about that.
I mean, it kind of makes me want to check all 4
So-
DVDs I have, but
So the interesting thing about that, let's see, is I have several friends on TikTok who have taken that Warner Brothers list and gone through their collection, and they have a lot of them, and no one's found any disc rot.
I mean that's good.
Yeah, I haven't come across a single creator that's compared their physical collection with the list and actually found something. So I'm tempted to do it, but it is in all of my years of collecting physical media is something I've never seen. Any damage I've seen to a disc is usually done by water or extreme heat and stuff like that. I've never seen one that's just been kept well on the shelf that just rotted. You know?
I mean, you remember when they used to scratch real easily?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
shit.
I do remember that. That's always, kind of been a thing.
You get a scratch on it, you're just like, fuck.
Yep.
That's the end of it. Yeah.
Well, there was a used movie place that used to try and buff them out for you, and sometimes it would work, and sometimes it wouldn't, depending on how bad the scratch is. But yeah, I've never seen any of the disc rot, but I've seen that that video going around on TikTok in different places. All right, so this weekend, if you want to watch something, you can see Scream Boat, which is at a very shocking 64% on Rotten Tomatoes. I did not expect Scream Boat to be above 40%, to be honest. So the fact that it's the Steamboat Willie horror movie.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's the continuation of getting Disney properties and turning them into horror movies. There's a movie called The Friend, starring Naomi Watts, 87% of Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know anything about it. But it is getting a wide. I think this is interesting because I think this movie, The Friend, I think it would be a limited release if we were in a different time. But there's room, so let's do it. Wake Up is a horror movie, smaller horror movie, 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. Sounds interesting. And then the big guy is a Minecraft movie, clearly quality cinema because there's no advanced ratings for the movie.
Well, actually, it's updated to 53%.
Oh, so they've updated their okay.
Yeah,
How many?
right now, 45 reviews.
Okay. Yeah, it's the Pooniverse. The Pooniverse. All the Disney characters being turned to horror movies.
Okay. I was like,
yeah,
the hell?
The Winnie the Pooh, the Pooniverse.
Yeah.
Blood and Honey. And
some people sat through, at least some of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and fuck me.
Some people knew better. Some people didn't want to
Holy
waste their time.
shit! It was so bad, dude. It was shockingly.
I mean, we have this
Bad.
conversation all the time, but the trailer was shit. The
I
trailer
know,
was dog
I
shit.
know that, but you're like, how bad could it possibly be? And you pop it on, you're like, oh my god.
All right, so yeah, that's what's coming out this week. We'll talk. I'll mention briefly. I didn't put an article in here, but Val Kilmer passed away yesterday from pneumonia. But I think that's complications due to his throat cancer.
I
But
was
he's
about to
been
say, yeah.
doing battle with that for about 10 years. It's sad news. 65 is very fucking young for him.
It also gives that last scene in Top Gun Maverick a
Yeah,
new little weight now.
it really does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's immediately
and
what I thought of.
same. I did too, and I was thankful that he got to do that scene, or he got to be in that movie just a little bit. You know.
I don't know if they AI'd his voice in that. I mean, if they did, I think the guy gave his blessing with it. I'm kind of okay with that because he
I think,
literally couldn't.
if I remember right, I think they did use some kind of tool that he was already using.
Yeah. Which I don't think anybody's going to be like, oh, I can't believe they did that. It's like, the guy can't speak.
Well, and he was still living to make
Yeah.
that decision. I have a problem with AI voices
For dead people to make,
for dead people. Yeah.
on, put the corpse on strings. Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, I was thinking about the different things that I liked from him, and clearly Tombstone always comes up.
I'll be a Huckleberry.
Yep. I mean, that one's probably that one in his Jim Morrison is one of the greatest rock and roll movies ever made.
I've yet to see The Doors.
It's very good. But yeah, he's done a lot of really good things. He's been in a lot of ensemble pieces. Everybody wants to bring up Heat, but everybody also knows how I feel about that.
Say Heat should have ended an hour before it actually did. It literally
I told you that.
It literally should have ended at the end of that shootout.
I told you that. Yeah,
I couldn't believe you were right. I was
theater.
like, this movie's like pretty good, and then it goes on for like another hour, and I'm like, just end movie.
Exactly. It's just whatever.
Sydney asks, what is your opinion of the best foreign movie that you've ever seen? Oh, shit, dude. Do you understand how little that narrows it down?
That's wild to me. And maybe that would be an easier question for some people who don't watch as many.
Yeah,
but
Seven Samurai. I mean,
yeah, I mean, you
my
would
brain.
You would clearly want to go with something that's universally great, like Seven Samurai. Yeah, that's tough because, like, if you go through my collection right now, it's probably 30% foreign films, maybe more. I mean, if I went modern, I'd probably lean into something like Parasite. It's right there.
Yeah, Parasite would probably be in the past 10 years something that definitely pops out in my mind. Burning. I know I'm a huge fan of Burning. Yeah.
And then the things that I just love, I would go into some really ridiculous like horror shit.
Also, it's foreign language or foreign movie outside the United States. And there's a lot.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. But yeah, I think if I'm going the last 10 years, it's definitely going to be Parasite. And if you're going to go overall, yeah, it would have to be something like, it would have to be a Kurosawa. I mean, if it's not Seven Samurai, it'd have to be one of his movies.
I mean, I don't know. That's almost recency bias since we saw it last, was it July or June? In that
it is.
But it was, God, it was just amazing.
It was amazing. It was gorgeous to see that on the big screen that way. But I mean, I think even if it is recency bias, it's still reasonable because even outside of it being foreign language, it's just one of the greatest movies ever made. Black Rain is technically kind of a foreign film. Not really. It's not really a foreign film, Marcus, because just because a movie is majority set in another country, I think for it to count as a foreign film, it needs a foreign production company behind it. And, we had everything was domestic, including the lead actor. So to me, that one still is not really a foreign film. It's just a movie that takes place in another country. Do you want to go in the story? You want to talk about the title of the episode here? We could talk about. I'm playing fast and loose with the story since it's just you and I.
Yeah.
Um, let's talk about the title, but now the problem with it is we can't get spoilery because a lot of people haven't seen it yet.
Well, that's easy. I mean, it's we can talk about the show. So the show
Yeah,
is I turned you on to this show. I recently got Apple TV Plus because I really wanted to rewatch Killers of the Flower Moon,
yeah.
and then they were advertising this new show from uh, who's the actor?
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen, called The Studio. And all of a sudden, there's these great reviews coming about it. So I looked up a trailer and was like, "Yeah, I'll pop this on." The first 2 episodes were up. I got to the end of episode 1 and went, "Steven, you need to see this."
So,
while watching episode 2,
side note, here's also what happened that I hadn't talked to you about is
okay.
those 2 episodes of that show played at South by Southwest, and Seth Rogen was in attendance for the screenings.
Oh shit!
And yeah, and we didn't go. The group that I was with, it was a series,
it's a TV show, whatever.
but
yeah.
in retrospect, though, those 2 episodes of the studio are better than 90% of the movies that I saw at South by. I wish I had gone, but the hype was there. Everybody who had gone to see it was coming out talking about how great it was. So it was kind of on my radar, but I wasn't in a big rush because my Apple TV had lapsed. Like I didn't renew it. So I was like,
we typically don't have Apple TV Plus because frankly, there's not enough material to kind of justify the purchase of it. But
I knew I was going to need to turn it back on for Severance anyway at some point. But it was I'm kind of loosely on my radar. But your ass just never commits to shows. So when you text me, you're like,
I'm
"Holy
going
shit!"
Like, you need to do this.
I'm like, "Well,
no.
Okay, fine. I'll go ahead and do it now." So I did.
Okay, so this is Seth Rogen plays as this producer turned head of this fictional studio, having to make tough decisions on what gets greenlit or how to move forward with stuff. And holy fuck, it's 1, hilarious, 2, cringe-inducing, and 3, so real.
It is so real. Yeah,
the bullshit that goes on behind the scenes. You can just feel the show in the way that they go about things, or the decisions that are made, or the indecisions that are made, and how he's unable to commit to doing some things. Episode 1 is all about having to get, he can have this job as head of the company, but he has to make a Kool-Aid movie.
Yeah.
So it's him trying to be like, fuck, how do I make a Kool-Aid movie?
Well, and it's interesting because he is a movie guy. He wants to support and build real movies.
He says it himself, I want the studio to be the A24 to where directors are just allowed to direct.
Yeah.
While being this moneymaker.
Now he's got to be beholden to his boss and to stockholders and all this stuff. So it becomes an interesting push and pull between those 2 sides of him. And further on in the series, it becomes interesting because he loves movies and loves good movies and loves artistic movies, doesn't mean he knows how to make them or should be involved in any of the decision making of making them. So all of that becomes part of it too, which is super interesting and very painful to watch in episode 2. In particular, but 3 also. 3 was wild.
I couldn't believe. So full disclosure, I popped this on, and KJ hates cringe comedy.
KJ would be his girlfriend
because it makes her feel uncomfortable.
Well, and I usually do too.
Yeah,
I can't even watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. I can't watch it.
Okay, so she hated episode 1. Episode 2, she walked out of. She's like, "I'm going to bed. I can't deal with this." But I mean, episode 2 is designed to make you extremely anxious.
And it did.
3, she really liked episode 3 though. She couldn't believe it.
So all this talk about Catherine Hahn in the Marvel stuff, for me, she was fine. I didn't understand the rabid love for her. I thought she was fine. Catherine Hahn in this is fucking hilarious.
Yes.
She steals many scenes in these first 3 episodes because she's hilarious. It's so good. If you have a passing interest in the making of movies, and you don't mind the cringe comedy, you're gonna have a good time with this. And my tolerance for Seth Rogen
It's pretty low,
it's
but
pretty low, but he's great in this.
yeah.
This is a character he was made to play.
I mean, it's a fascinating character to watch because he's you can tell he wants to do good, but he's just so indecisive and so.
And he has no backbone. He's spineless.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's because he loves movies so much when he's put up against somebody who's a talent, who's a known entity, which you see some really big names in this show.
Shockingly big names.
Shockingly big.
I thought they were just throwing out names to be funny, and then those people show up, and you're like, oh my God. In episode 3, Ron Howard shows up, and you're like,
you got Martin Scorsese in episode 1.
Scorsese shows up.
So, quick sidebar. Sydney wants to know Matt Damon or Ben Affleck, better actor, better movies. Tough one. I actually think they're both good. I think Ben Affleck got like a raw end of the deal because he made some stupid decisions early on in his career. And also he's got that like traditional good looking man thing, and I think that hurt him too. But I think
Ben Affleck was on a string there for a bit, but he kind of fell off now.
Well, his last movie though was great. Air was great.
Was that him directing?
Yes.
Shit. All right, I missed that. Fuck.
Yes. I feel like as he gets older, we're going to see him push more into directing because I think he's super good at it.
What are you talking about? He won Best Picture.
I know.
Like 13 years ago.
And he's continued to direct good stuff. It's just, I think he could end up being like a Clint Eastwood. Like you would see him doing a whole lot less acting and more directing.
Yeah, I'd be down with that.
Matt Damon is a good actor. I think Matt Damon doesn't pick a lot of good movies, though.
Yeah, immediately I think of like The Great Wall.
Yeah, and what is that, downsizing or whatever?
I don't blame him for that, though. I blame the advertising agency behind that, but it wasn't a good movie, but they advertised it as one thing, and it was something entirely different.
Yeah.
Like, that's a film that on many Reddit threads, people like complain about because it was a rug pull, like, in terms of advertising and the actual product.
Yeah. So I feel like he's good. He just, like, when he's in Nolan movies, he's meant to be there.
Yeah, no notes given. It's great.
He's there. He's doing his job. So I think they're both good. I think they're equally as good. I feel like Damon is the actor and Affleck is the director. Really. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Oh, I was asked to play Q&A with you because since it's just the two of us. Zach, so I'm gonna play
Biscuits is here.
Biscuits is always here though.
Yeah,
at least I'm not looking at Biscuits' butthole. That's the cat for the audio.
He was on the couch, and now he's like, I looked at him, and now he's walking around.
All right, so I'm going to play Q&A. And if you guys want to ask Zach or me anything specific, we're going to play Q&A.
Yeah, go
for it. I love that Sydney is coming with questions. Jake Gyllenhaal or Russell Crowe? Better actor, better movies?
Gyllenhaal.
Jake, what's that?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
I think Jake Gyllenhaal is probably the better actor. Yeah, Russell Crowe is great in a certain space. Jake Gyllenhaal is
recently.
I mean, I'm looking at overall Crowe. Jake Gyllenhaal is honestly pretty annoying to me too nowadays, though. I don't really like either of them anymore, to be honest. But
personal or the performances they give?
Personal, mostly, because Jake Gyllenhaal's a good actor. He's a good actor. I think he's the better actor. And I would agree with Zach on this. Probably, if you look at their catalogs, he has the better catalog.
Yeah, because I only think of like, I don't know, the stuff they've been in. I don't really pay attention to their personal life because, frankly, unless it's newsworthy, I don't really give a fuck. I mean, just being real.
No, I agree. I agree. Mostly. I'm paying more attention now because, look, everything is political, including art. And if I see somebody like Eli Roth coming out against Gaza the way he did, it impacts what I think of him as a person. And if I see his work and the first thing I think of is that nastiness, then it impacts my appreciation of their work. It just does.
I mean, look, I went into Edge of Darkness because Mel Gibson had recently been on a tear of some pretty awful things, but I was like, well, maybe he'll be good in the movie. And he was good in the movie.
He was, yeah.
And then he came out with some worse things, and it's like, okay, now I cannot ignore this anymore. So, that's why Mel Gibson hasn't been in a lot of things. But, you know, I'm willing to overlook some shit until it gets into like, okay, you're outside of being in the film is too pervasive into the character you're portraying.
Well, and like another good example for me is Kevin Spacey, and that one hurts because Kevin Spacey is a great freaking actor,
Yeah.
but like I can't not think about his nonsense.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
especially if you look at something
with,
you look at something questionable like American Beauty. You're like, oh God, no.
woo, someone
And
changed the channel.
exactly. And it's interesting. I've been in this whole conversation about Jonathan Majors because Magazine Dreams came out, and it's a good movie. It's a really good movie, and he's really good in it. But it's really the zeitgeist is divided on whether he deserves another chance or not to act and to be accepted. I think it's complicated. We have to look at each situation individually and see where our line is drawn. And I think the people's personal experience plays into part of where you put the line in the sand. And I think that's interesting. It's an interesting conversation. Jake Gyllenhaal. Okay. I was making sure she didn't say anything else. Okay, so we'll play 20 questions while I wait for somebody else to come in here. What is your favorite movie and why?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Houseu. Or House, 1977.
Well, why?
It's a film that is so batshit. It's so creative. It is so funny. It is so memorable. Every single scene to me is innovative. It's almost like my comfort movie. I'd put like Big Lebowski in there too, or in my Letterboxd 4, Houseu is there along with John Carpenter's The Thing, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and One Cut of the Dead. It's a film that I can see the director being like, this is a boring scene. How do we make it interesting? How do we make the audience feel like they're on acid or on drugs like the entire time? It doesn't have to be perfect. And I mean there are issues with Houseu. There's a lot of issues with Houseu, but it's one of those just I every time I watch it, I laugh at it and I have such a fun time with it.
Man, Houseu is such a beautiful theatrical experience too.
It really, especially if you can catch it on 35, it just comes alive.
We are blessed in Nashville.
See, every time I've seen a theater, it's been on 35.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's got to go 4 or 5 times now. But it was also one of my first Belcourt experiences.
That makes sense.
Not the first, but like one of them.
Yeah.
And it was that new 35 millimeter print that was traveling, and I went and saw it, and it was just mesmerizing.
See, also, it's funny. I'm just realizing this. I don't know why, but it makes sense that we like work so well on production together, because in our top 4s we both have one cut and we both have a John Carpenter.
Yeah, because I mean, it's The Thing, and it's one cut. And if you've seen one cut, and if you haven't seen one cut, please stop what you're doing and watch it. Trust us, please. Just get over that 39-minute mark, please.
Yeah, watch that movie. Coming in from the chat, if you could have dinner with 4 directors, living or not, who would it be?
Holy shit. All right, easy. John Carpenter, Stanley Kubrick, Quentin Tarantino. Fuck it, Akira Kurosawa.
Okay. I think I would go John Carpenter. I would go Errol Morris. I would go Steven Spielberg. And I would go Sam Raimi.
Ooh, good picks.
That would be my 4. And in another day it would change, but that gets me the documentary, that gets me the Hollywood classics, that gets me cheesy, edgy lo-fi stuff. I think I could get a little bit of everything from that conversation. I understand the Quentin Tarantino because he's so knowledgeable, but I think he would take up all the air in the room.
Well, I'd be fascinated to see the dynamics of them hanging
Actually,
out.
you know
Because
what? I
would
think
he be lit more? If you put all these four, would he be the one listening?
why do I feel like Stanley Kubrick would shut him up? I just
Exactly. I feel like he'd be like, "You're a fucking asshole. Let me tell
so
you
shut the
why."
fuck up.
Yeah, but I would love to see that dynamic. Just be a fly on that wall.
That makes sense. All right, let's see. Die Hard is my favorite movie because of Bruce Willis. Oh shit! Damn it! My page is always scanning or scrolling. And action and the comedy and the chaos. A great Christmas movie. It is a great Christmas movie. It's a classic.
Every year.
It is. What's the first movie you remember watching and loving? That's a tough one.
That is so tough. I mean, to me, it's always been there. It's like cinema is just it's always been there.
So for me, the problem I have is this.
It's like asking, do you remember the first time you had mac and cheese? It's like, no, it's
Yeah.
always been there.
Well, and I actually don't talk about this kind of stuff that much on streams, but my parents were teenagers when they had me as a kid. So by the time I was old enough to start remembering movies, they were letting me watch shit that I shouldn't be seeing because they didn't know better themselves. So I've just seen so many movies in my lifetime. I don't really remember the first movie individually that I like fell in love with because it's like you say, it's just always there.
It's like, do you remember the first time you watched Star Wars? No, I don't.
No, I think clearly it was on TV, but no, I don't. I've seen it so many times now. Yeah, that's a tough one.
It's just been there.
It's a real.
That's such a hard question because I'm like, I don't know, man.
I get really jealous of people because I've been in these conversations before where that question has been asked, and there's people who can say it. That they're like, oh, it was this movie, blah blah blah. This is the story, and I'm like, shit. Like I am fairly certain I was seeing movies before I knew what movies were. They were just always playing, right?
Yeah.
So it's tough. That's a tough one.
You're making a one person, one location film. What actor and what location would you choose?
We got a spammer in here.
Yeah. I don't know. What's the script? Like I'd have to know the script. Then I'd be able to cast and get the location.
Yeah.
It's so broad. I don't know.
Let's see.
This is why I'm not good at D&D. If you could do anything, what would you do?
Wait, let me
Give
look
an
at this question again. It says you're making a one-person, one-location film. What actor and what location would you choose? Okay, and I see. I was trying to figure out what to do about the issue there.
You might be able to answer this, but
well, and that's why I directed you DP.
Yeah,
so,
I need a script.
What actor and what location? I would want to choose. You know what I would choose? I would choose somebody that I always say is an underappreciated actor, like is a better actor than people give credit to. Is George Clooney? I would choose George Clooney. And of course, it depends if I'm choosing a male or a female. But I'm going to assume that I'm going to choose George Clooney, and I think that I would choose. I think that I could do something interesting in like a mall because there's so many different options for style and look. Depending on the store I put them in, whatever. I think I would start with something like that. I could come up with something cool in that space. I think that's what I would do.
What's one movie that makes you want to fight or kill someone? Where to start?
Well, when people say that Mother sucks, I want to fight them because that movie is amazing.
The last 5 minutes of The Last Exorcism made me want to rip the seats out of my theater. Phantasm 5 Ravager made me.
Oh, we all wanted to fight during Phantasm 5 Ravager because
I was violently angry.
I wanted to go and track down the director of the movie and take him out because you have disrespected an already bad but beloved franchise, and you have made it so much worse. So that's fun.
Jason Freeberg and Aaron Seltzer are two directors I never want to touch like their band from making film.
Will we ever see Zach act in a 48?
You already have.
Tis happened.
It has happened. I was a background extra.
Yeah, but
I
I think
mean,
she's talking about
act or just
actual,
be there.
and I think she's talking about actual acting. Will we ever see you act?
How desperate are y'all? I mean, I can.
I was going to say you protest too much, sir. You would do it.
I would do it, yes, because I did high school acting. So it's not like I don't know how to act or how to read a scene. Oh shit!
Okay, this makes me laugh because every time we talk about, like, all during the shooting of Family of Fear, it
Yeah.
would come up. Are you guys going to act for us in the haunted house? And Zach's response was always the same. I did high school acting.
Yeah, I've done high school acting. I was the lead in the fucking high school play. Let's go.
All right.
I was William Buffet in the fucking 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Yes. I did my dance and spelling with my feet. Let's go.
So I think the answer
Like what?
I think the answer, to answer honestly for Zach, is the answer is yes, if he could. Yeah, I know that you would, because you're a sucker for that stuff. You would do
Well,
it.
if you were like Zach and you should be this part, I'd be like, okay, let's go. Like, because I'm all for who is the best person for the job in terms of the product we're making, and typically with a 48, there's no time. So it's just let's go.
So Crystal, you're saying that you're desperate for him to act. So you have the power. Like, if we're co-writing, we just fucking write a part for him, and then he'll have to do it.
I mean, is the camera shot going to be good? Who's
The camera shot will be good. I will handle the basics of the camera shot and put Tyler behind the camera for the actual shoot.
I mean, you're going to need 3 or 4 takes just for me to like.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
It's going to be rough until it gets
Hey,
good.
I have directed, and this is inside baseball, but I have directed Alan Smith. I'm used to doing a lot of takes.
I remember that fucking scene. Okay, so inside baseball, Alan Smith has like 2 lines of dialogue, but he has to come in and say it. And how many takes were there? Like 12?
Man, I don't know. All I know is, and see, if you watch, okay, this is the perfect thing. If you hear this story right now, and then you go watch episode 2 of The Studio, you'll know why we connected so well with this. Because this scene with this actor, he had 2 lines. He had to walk into the shot, and it was something like,
Coach something. Wants a
need
sandwich.
something. Give me a sandwich. We're walking through the garden. It was in a subway. Yeah, that's all he had to do. So while I'm directing 13th take, whatever, I'm looking out the window, and it's getting dark, and it's starting to rain.
Yeah, the rain. God.
And in the background, I had PAs going to get us umbrellas, because I knew that because of this fucker taking so long to get these 2 lines, that we were going to be standing in the rain with gear. And sure enough, we had to film in the rain. It's in the movie, it's in the rain. So yeah, you can have 2 or 3 takes, sir. You're good.
God, remember like the color timing? Okay, so there's a shot where he's like, we're having the scene where he gets in the car and it's like, let's go, man. Like, that was the moment we were like, we can fix the color timing on his face.
Yep,
like, that's how old this was.
Yep.
God.
So, question: what is your favorite subgenre of horror?
Damn.
Is this hard for you?
I don't know. I'm kind of like, well, my first thought is like, oh, horror comedy or like body horror or like.
Yeah, that's what it would be. It's one of that type of thing. But
psychological horror, probably be. Because I like the ones that'll fuck me up.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and agree, because the gory stuff, the slasher stuff, none of that stuff.
But
it's fun, but it doesn't actually impact.
Which is more impactful, like, the gore of Evil Dead 2013, which is substantial.
It is substantial. It's raining blood.
Or the lust sequence from 7.
Exactly.
Where nothing is shown. It's 2.5 minutes, and we're still talking about that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that to me is way more impactful. And don't get me wrong, I love me some gore.
Yeah,
But
But if you're talking about what really fucking works, yeah, it's the psychological stuff, the stuff that gets in your brain a little bit. Which by the way, is closer to what Woman in the Yard is than what you think it is.
okay.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Scroll up to see what we missed. What?
What is, in your opinion, the best ever prison
Prison
movie?
movie.
It's Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption has to be the answer. It's 5 out of 5.
I mean, okay.
There's other good
Okay,
ones. I
fine.
love the greatest. I love the
Shawshank
greatest.
is now off the table.
Oh.
Can I go
Then
Stalag 17?
What'd you say?
Stalag 17.
Stalag 17's good. Escape from Alcatraz, though, is probably where I would go. I like that one a lot. If we're not doing, yeah, that's probably where I'd go. No, the answer has to be Lockup with Sylvester Stallone.
Oh yeah, now we're talking.
Quality cinema, baby.
Was it Lockup or was it Prison? What was that? It was Arnold and Stallone.
Oh, I'm writing a movie about an IT guy that loves filming and cats. Perfect. No, that was Stallone. Lockup is Stallone. Yeah.
No, Escape Plan. That's it.
Oh, you're thinking about Escape Plan. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we'll do if we're going
no,
quality.
he did Lockup. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Lockup is the actual prison one. Escape Plan's a sci-fi movie, basically.
Can we go Escape Plan 2?
Oh, of course. Yeah,
Escape Plan: The Extractors.
yeah,
You made 2 sequels to this shit.
yeah. Go with the one that has shit. Schwarzenegger didn't come back. Somebody else was in it in the follow-up.
Oh, let's see.
Really bad movies.
Dave
Bautista.
Oh God.
Philadelphia is a wonderful movie. Philadelphia is fantastic. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's really good.
Have not seen.
Denzel Washington, Antonio Banderas, very good movie. Very good.
Not seen Philadelphia. It's one of those films I feel like I know I've seen it just based on the amount of talk.
Yeah, it'll make you cry. It's a good one. All right. So what's the one movie that made you want to be a filmmaker? Come on, baby.
I don't know if it was a movie.
No?
I can specifically remember in high school, I was taking some class and it wasn't working out, or I was too advanced or something like that. It was for some reason I was switching classes and they're like, here's all the other classes you could take. And I was like, what's mass media? And they're like, oh, you make like short films and you make like, TV stuff. And I was like, well, let's go with that. Yeah. And I remember my first short, it was supposed to be like a commercial for something. And don't get me wrong, it's terrible. It was awful. But sure. It was the moment I got behind a camera and filmed something, which I was like, well, hopefully this will turn out. And being at the controls of the edit, seeing it come together.
Yep.
It was that moment where, and you probably know what I'm talking about, you feel it come together.
Yeah.
We have this every single year with 48. We have this every single time we do a project where you have this general idea in your head manifest itself into being.
Yeah.
And it was that moment I knew this is what I want. It's almost hard to quantify it. It's that moment you go, I want this. More of this.
You don't have a movie though? I do. Mine is you know what my movie is. It's Halloween. When I watched Halloween and understood the storytelling of that sidewalk scene and understood what a Steadicam was for the first time and understood how visual storytelling works just by watching that movie, I knew I had to be involved in visual storytelling in some way. Now, my story as far as the actual mechanics of it is very similar to yours. I was in music. I thought I was going to be a rock star. and I found my way because of certain situations in school. Found my way into mass communications and TV production, and then I never turned back.
I don't really think it was a movie that did it for me. It was just the making of it to where I knew, like, it's like, it's that moment, this is going to
Oh,
be something I want to do.
yeah,
It's hard to quantify. It's why we like One Cut of the Dead so
so much.
much.
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah. All right. So I like this question. I'll be interested to hear what you say. Do you prefer character-driven stories or plot-driven ones? It's an interesting. It's radically different types of storytelling.
Yeah, because I can think of instances where a character-driven movie is more interesting than the plot going on, or where a plot is more interesting than the character.
See, I feel like with a character-driven story, a lot of times you know how it's going to end, and that doesn't really matter. It's about the evolution of the character, the growth of the character, that kind of thing. Even if the end is predictable, it doesn't matter because it's about the character.
I was about to say, like Big Lebowski, it doesn't really matter what the plot is.
The plot barely hangs together.
Yeah, it is an instance where the characters are more interesting, whereas like No Country for Old Men, the characters are interesting, but where's this plot going?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
those are the same directors.
Yeah. So which do you prefer?
I want to go plot.
Yeah, that makes sense for you.
Yeah.
I kind of suspect, like, if you're being fully honest with yourself, that it is plot.
And
And
character motivation, character, intention is merely the icing on the cake, but you have to have a good foundation of plot.
yeah,
It's not always the case, but in my case, that's typically where I go.
and I feel like for me, it's really 50-50. But part of me wants to lean into character because if you know me for a while, you know that I'm desperate myself to do a character-driven story. I've been looking for years for a character-driven story to do. Something small, something with a couple of characters, probably in one location. I just want to like dig in and work with actors. Because of that, I might actually lean into the character side.
This is why we're a good dynamic, is because
It
I
is.
can sit and look at the script and go, what is our plot? And you can go, what is our character?
Exactly.
So we're nice side of the opposite coin there.
It is. Tom Hanks and Denzel. Oh, okay, I see that. I'm just catching up. Fatal Attraction, rated out of 5.
Have yet to see.
3.5. I think Fatal Attraction's pretty good.
Have not seen.
Goodfellas, Scarface, or Casino? Choose one. Easy.
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas, 100%.
It's not even a competition.
Not even a competition. What's a movie scene that always gives you chills?
TCM, when the reveal of Leatherface always really irks me.
That gives you chills?
I mean, it always makes me go, like, when he slams that door home and the music just, that low, it's always like, ooh. I was rewatching Pulse.
Ooh, good movie.
And that really got under my skin. Like, I was surprised how much that got under my skin. Just as a whole.
I'm thinking on this. That gives me chills. That's an interesting, a very specific response. I don't know. Something that always gives me chills.
Do we go with like disturbing would be chills? Because
to me, chills is chills. Like it makes a hair stand up on your arms or something like that. You know what I mean? That to me is what she's going for.
Yeah.
I don't have that too often. Like I do have movies that will do that to me the first time, but not like over and over again. Yeah, I'm going to think on that one. Let's see. Unfaithful is pretty good. Your thoughts on that?
I haven't seen it, man. Come on, Sydney, say something I've seen.
She's picking the sexy movies. Unfaithful is pretty good. I mean, I think 3.5, but it might be 4. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it's pretty good. Unfaithful is pretty good.
If you could rewrite the ending of any movie, what would you choose? Easy. And this is already done. It's already been made. I Am Legend. The alternate ending was the right one.
The alternate, yeah,
It was the right one.
We are being proved right because it seems like the sequel is leaning into the alternate ending on that one.
Yeah, it was literally like watching it in the theater. I'm like, this ending is wrong, and then the DVD came out, and it's like, what the fuck? You already made the right one. It's already just edited into the fucking movie. What are we doing here? Yeah.
Well, how many years have we spent complaining about the ending to that
2007 to now, yes. And I'm still complaining about it because it was such a shitty ending.
It's so good to have the physical media release of that movie with the proper
$7.50 down the drain at that movie. Okay, so outside of I Am Legend, okay, rewrite any ending. You know what? Fuck it. We're going to bring it full circle. Last Exorcism. That last 5 minutes can eat my ass. Write something else.
Wow.
I hated that ending.
Yeah.
Because the whole movie keeps going between is it real or isn't it? Lovely bouncing back. And then the ending was like, fuck you. It was all real and the whole town was in on it. And then everybody died. Fuck you. I hated it.
I mean, I don't know if that really fixes the movie, to be honest, even if you did rewrite the ending. I mean, wouldn't you want it if you rewrote the ending for it to actually be good?
Well, yeah.
Like, I mean, that movie still wouldn't be that great. Would it?
I'm really trying to think of like a big example of like where the ending just completely bungled it. Come on, channel your episode 3 of The Studio. Let's go.
I know. Well, it's like I feel like pressure. It's like I would be able to answer that no problem. And right now, when I'm asked it, I'm like,
It's like it's so vast.
Yeah. I would definitely fucking rewrite.
Can we rewrite No Time to Die to where it's like a virus instead of like nanobots? Because that would fix the ending.
I'd rewrite the ending to John Wick 3.
I'd rewrite the ending to John Wick 3, John Wick 4. You know what? Just rewrite entirely John Wick 3 to where John
I would
Wick
definitely
4 is John Wick 3 and then rewrite that too.
The ending of John Wick 3 is trash though. It's just so bad.
Are you pissed, John? Yeah.
It's just, yeah. I would definitely, that would be right away something that I would change. Bad Boys 1983, Sean Penn, 4 out of 5. Great movie.
I haven't seen. Movie. Come on, Sydney.
Great movie.
I feel like every time you post a film I haven't seen, it's like pointing another hole in my filmography. Like
some of the holes in your filmography are completely embarrassing, though. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Name 5 films that you're embarrassed that you haven't seen.
Oh shit. Well, in this case, you almost have to point it out, and for me to be like,
I know it's the same for me because I was sitting here thinking, well, I've probably seen 20,000 movies in my lifetime, maybe more.
According to Letterboxd, I've only seen around 3,000.
Well, I'm very bad at. I'm only now doing good with Letterboxd, so I have a lot to do.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some
obscure shit though.
It is 5 minutes after 8, so if you guys have one more question each you want to throw in here.
I was about to say, we've seen Aggro Drift.
We have. You made me see Aggro Drift, you fuck.
You needed it for your film count, and if you didn't see it, then you wouldn't have made your goal.
I would have made my goal.
No, you literally saw your 150 on New Year's Eve at like 8 p.m. I don't want to hear that.
It was 9 p.m.
No, 9 p.m. Even better. Thief. I fell asleep in the first 20 minutes.
I think Thief is good. It is a slow burn movie, but it is a good movie. James Caan's great.
There's this shot in the first like 5 minutes where it's just it's like the camera lens is going into a lock, like into the hole and through it. I'm like, how the fuck did they do that shot?
What's up, Nick? Coming in right at the end. All right. We've been playing Q&A with me and Zach, just answering questions because our other two co-hosts were unable to be here tonight because they had no internet. So we've been playing fast and loose with the stream. Movie you wish would do a remake. Oh, I should be able to do this one. You got to have something. That's a good. I like that question
That's a good
because
question.
there are movies that should be remade that need remakes. Um, hmm. A movie that you would love to see them do a remake. Um. So I can say one that, and you'll agree with me on this one. I think, even though I think you kind of like the original a little bit, is I think Silent Hill is a story that should be told well,
Well, they're
and I
making
would,
Silent Hill 2,
yeah,
which I mean, I'm all for, but I don't think
I
you could do
think
it in a film format.
there were elements of the original film that I think were cool, but that story, I think there's enough meat on the bone in that story to actually give us a good movie, and I would love to see a good remake, a good version of that movie.
I'm gonna have a hot fucking take, and I'm probably
Uh-oh.
gonna get crucified for it. But I would actually love to see.
Go ahead.
Disclaimer: I'm not saying the original is bad,
Let me get ready with the boot button.
but I would be very curious to see a modern day take of the Warriors.
Okay. No, I don't think that's a hot take at all. I think The Warriors is a movie of its time. And
I'd be curious to see like a more faithful adaptation to the book, or like a modern day just version of it.
yeah.
How does that story take place in 2025? And I think it'd be fascinating to see.
Well, the question is, can you even do that story in 2025? Because
I
it's
think
the
you
we've got
could,
the well, you've got the cell phone solution though. That's the
but
problem.
well,
Go on.
yeah. I mean, you'd have to have a reason for it to happen, and I don't know, cell phone video exists, but
Yeah, I
I
think
mean
it's a tough
that's
story
how
to.
that's how you solve the radio personality is it's a text message now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying this film is bad, needs to be improved. I'm saying that's a great version we have here, but I'd be curious as hell to see a 2025 version on how that
Um,
translates to today.
well, and to still be able to build in like the social commentary and stuff like that, because a lot of times with modern remakes they forget. You know, my example is Dawn of the Dead. People love the Dawn of the Dead remake, and they forget the whole fucking social commentary
Yeah,
of that movie,
that's the whole
of the original
point.
one.
It's
The
the
whole
whole
consumerism
take.
part is just gone from the remake. It's just like, what are you doing? Um, let's see. I think movies aren't really above being remade. I just think it's good to do it in a unique way. I mean, The Seventh Samurai has been remade so many times.
Oh yeah.
Um, and The Magnificent Seven is a very beloved movie. I'm not as big into Western, but I understand that movie is very beloved. And it was just a remake. I have always wanted to do. Uh, shit. What is the name of that movie? Oh, I have always wanted to do a sci fi version of a Clint Eastwood movie called High Plains Drifter.
Ooh.
Imagine High Plains Drifter done sort of Firefly style. That's what I've always wanted to do as a remake. I think that'd be amazing. I'd love to see that. If you've not seen High Plains Drifter, I'm not
Can we
big into
cut out the
westerns.
rape though? Can we do that?
No, that's part of the story.
I know, but like, it's just that one little
No,
moment.
I know it's hard to watch, but that's
It's
part of the story,
uncomfortable because
and that's what makes him such a gross hero. It's so complicated. But yeah, that's always been something I've wanted to see happen is a sci-fi telling of that movie. I just think it's so cool. All right, let's see. 310 to Yuma, great film. It's all right,
hard
but it's
candy
Western.
thoughts.
I think Hard Candy's great.
It's
I think
it's
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 a
good.
hard movie.
I don't know if I ever want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Just because it I am not into pedophilia, but it made me feel like a piece of shit. It just made me feel horrible.
Well, on that note,
Fuck that guy. But like the psychological torture done to him, Jesus Christ.
something. All right, one more question, and then we'll call it. If anybody has another film-related, movie-related question, we'll hit it, and then we'll call it an evening. It was actually pretty fun to do.
Yeah. Soju helps.
Soju helps. I'm just having lemon water.
I'm out of soju.
Aw. I have all of your soju over here. All right.
What I
don't know if we're getting
in October.
Right. All right. I don't know if we're getting anything else. Let's see.
Knickknacks just points upwards.
He's just giving the pointy finger.
310
pointing
Yuma,
at,
the
sir?
original or the remake? Robert Redford, thoughts on his films?
Robert Redford is a fantastic actor and a good producer. 3 Days of the Condor is one of my all-time favorite movies, period. I love 3 Days of the Condor. It's so good.
Haven't seen. I think there's a lot of his films I haven't seen.
And one of his last movies, Old Man with a Gun, with him and Sissy Spacek, was also freaking great. Really good. I liked it. So Robert Redford's great.
I'll just be over here being like,
You can't call a single Robert Redford film. Sneakers? You haven't seen Sneakers?
No.
Sneakers is great also. What the hell?
Hang on. Okay. IMDb.
Why do you suck so hard?
Where's his directorial?
Why?
10 films. He's done 10 movies.
Come on.
I haven't seen any of these.
What a fail.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sydney. I can't help it. Zach sucks.
Okay, let's do actor, not director. I mean, he was in Avengers Endgame.
He was. This is true.
The movie's mid.
That movie is not mid. That's a good movie. It's not as good as the previous, but it's good.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
Infinity War is much better.
I haven't seen a lot of movies he's been in. I haven't seen The Natural. I haven't seen A Bridge Too Far. I haven't seen All the President's Men.
All the President's Men is great.
Oh, wait. Jeremiah Johnson. I love Jeremiah Johnson. He's great. That movie's great. There.
Okay, well, there's one.
I've seen that one. It's funny. I've seen clips. Of like.
Clips don't count, sir.
I've seen clips of The Sting. I've seen, I think, a clip from Spy Game.
Spy Game's pretty good.
Captain America: Winter Soldier. I saw. It was a piece of shit.
No, that's a good movie.
It's kind of it.
Lame.
I mean, I remember saw 20 minutes of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and I fell asleep.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good movie. It's just not for me. I understand that it's good. It's just not.
I just remember the scene where they're on the bike with the raindrops falling on my head, and I was falling asleep. So that's the scene.
Yeah,
I was
Sydney. He clearly hasn't seen The Company You Keep. I actually don't think I've seen that one either. All right, we're gonna bring this thing to an end. We've been going close to an hour and a half, so that's good enough. Where do we find you on the internet, sir?
You can find me on Instagram. I'm Master of the Matrix 91. You can find me on Steam and Discord as a dangerous mute lunatic, and you can find me on Letterboxd, Master Z91.
Find me at all things OTS Movies, mostly TikTok and Letterboxd. Find my movie review for The Woman in the Yard, both with and without spoilers, on Letterboxd, because I seem to keep fucking up recording a TikTok for the movie. So go read that, and you can follow me on Instagram, OTS Movies, also, but that's mostly just reposts of my TikToks. But I am on Blue Sky. I'm on Blue Sky now, and I'm in the video version, the beta of the video version of that too. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, OTS Movies. See everybody next week.
You can find Biscuits right here
on Zach's desk.
Hey, on my desk. He's in his cat tree. He's sleeping.
All right. Bye, everybody.